On my way to the lake here today, I was just recounting for my kids the very limited UFO experiences I've had in my life. Now, I've never been abducted by aliens, at least as far as I remember. And to be perfectly honest with you, I don't believe in aliens. I don't think there is any outer space. I am a Bible literalist. And more on how I got to that point in a future video. But I have seen things in the sky that I don't understand, some of which corroborate with other reports, common reports from around the world. So when I was around 8 years old, I was on the porch of my grandmother's house in Bellingham, Washington, which overlooked the bay. And my grandma smoked cigarettes, so I often went out near her, but far enough away. We knew about secondhand smoke at that point. But I like to go outside on the porch with her while she was smoking and get some fresh air, ish. And I was just looking around. I happened to look up in the sky, and I saw facing toward me a black triangle with 3 little red lights, one in each corner. And I did see a circle in the center, but I don't remember this too well. It was a long time ago, but I don't remember that circle being illuminated. But I saw this hanging there. I remember it went through my mind, like, is this a balloon? Is this some kind of mechanical bird or something? I was 8. And I turned to my grandma, took my eyes off of it. That was a mistake. But I turned to my grandma and I said, "Hey, grandma, look at this." And when I pointed and looked back at it, it was gone. So it was many, many years until I heard of the TR-3B, the flying triangle, the black manta. And I still don't know exactly what that is. There's a lot of lore surrounding this particular thing. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of sightings of the TR-3B from around the world. But no one really knows what it is. A lot of people think that it uses some kind of hidden technology to defy gravity, just hang in the air there somehow. Some people think it came from aliens. Some people think it's ancient technology that has been kept suppressed for thousands of years. Demonic technology, Nephilim technology. But again, we don't know. But what interests me about this is that the TR-3B is essentially out in the open at this point, but it's still denied. It's still not officially revealed. And so why would that be the case? And the only conclusion I can come to is that the people who are in control of this technology don't want it being mass produced. They don't want people to get their hands on it. And my implication there is that it must harness some sort of free energy, that it must use some kind of energy source that, if we were to examine it, would undermine the current energy scarcity paradigm that rules the world through fear and fuels wars, etc. So I think there must be something about that, or the anti-gravity technology the TR-3B uses, that makes it so we cannot know generally, as just the general little people of the world. We cannot officially know that the TR-3B exists, or what powers it, or how it works. But this is one where it's been seen so many times, in broad daylight. People have taken very detailed photos of it, that I think the TR-3B must really exist, in some capacity. It's not just some mass hallucination. It's not something people are just imagining. But so that happened when I was a little kid, and for many years I thought I must have imagined it, but looks like it actually really did. It really exists. It's really a real thing. So the other one, this is very strange to me. So I don't really know how I feel about the chemtrail phenomenon. I don't know if those really exist or not. The official line is that modern jet engines simply produce more condensation that can linger longer due to atmospheric conditions. And I am no jet engine engineer. I have no way to actually refute that. But what I do know is that much later, around 2017 or so, I was driving down I-5 from Bellingham to Alger. And I looked up and I saw this swath of, contrails, chemtrails, whatever it actually is. And in the center of it, in the dead center of these very unnatural looking clouds, I saw a very bright, shiny, perfectly spherical orb. It was the same thing where I was with my wife. We had our infant daughter, first daughter, in the back seat, and I said, "Hey, look at that!" Almost drove us off the freeway, to look at it. But by the time I looked back, it was gone. But the hole, see, it had been sucking in the contrails like a vacuum cleaner, like some giant silver Kirby vacuum cleaner in the sky. It had been sucking in the surrounding contrail or chemtrail, and there was still this basically perfectly spherical hole left behind. And that one is very strange. It just looked like a silver orb, and I was kind of a UFO enthusiast by this point, but I'd never heard of this, and I thought, this is kind of weird. But I looked it up, and actually just kind of a basic silver orb that looks kind of like a ball bearing is a pretty common sighting. And I'm just fascinated by the fact that it looked like it was sucking this stuff up, which makes me think this kind of adds to the validity of the idea, in my opinion. This is something not so great that's up there in the atmosphere, that some sort of force, angelic, demonic, what have you, was up there cleaning it up out of the sky. So again, I don't believe I've been abducted. I don't really know what's going on, but again, I don't think aliens are real for the just basic reason that I don't think there's anywhere they could have come from, because I believe that we live not on a spherical earth, that there is a firmament above us, that the moon and the sun and all the stars and planets go around us, and that there's just been a massive deception created by Satan. But this is backed up by biblical facts, the idea that Satan is a great deceiver, that he can make men's minds blind, that he is the father of lies. So what better way to demoralize people and make them disbelieve the Bible than to make up this thing called space that is empty and vast, and we are just one tiny interchangeable cog within. Even our sun, the giver of life, is not important. But again, I'll get to that in a future video. Probably I'll shoot that today too. But for today, I just wanted to share what I've experienced with UFOs. Now, I've only ever seen two. Up close, I've seen funny lights in the sky that I couldn't explain, not sure what that is. But that TR-3B, I mean, that's what it was. It was very close. It was on its side, almost like it was showing me the bottom. Often people see it kind of straight up and down, right? But it was hanging in the air, like just above the tree line, but on its side, so that the bottom was showing with the lights, which I still find odd. And that was one of the things that made me really think that I must have imagined it. But then the other one, the silver orb, that was from a bit more of a distance. But I did see it was this glinting metal object in the sky. And it was much shinier than, a plane can be. It was like it was made out of some just pure metallic alloy. I still, to this day, just have no idea what that one was about. Why it was there, why it was clearly sucking this stuff into it. It boggles me. And I think that lots of people have had these kinds of experiences that they can't explain, with bizarre things up in the sky. And so if you have, please do leave a comment about it. I want to know any UFO experiences you've had. Try to keep it speculative, like I've done here. And I'm not asking for any total wacko craziness. Just tell me what you've seen, what you think it might be, what you think of my experiences. And if you have not yet, please do like the video, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll be back soon with a new video. God bless you. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.